Thursday, June 20th, 2023. I woke up late today. I didn't get out of bed until 4 a.m. I hurried, got dressed, packed my basket, and fed the inside cats. I started feeding the street cats at 4:30 a.m. Tropical storm Calvin brought some rain, but not much. Today, I brought 15 cans of pate, 3 cans of tuna, and 2 buckets of dry food. It seems like I have to bring more food each day. There was a lot of activity and a lot of kitties out there when I was feeding today. There was a massive homeless structure. It was like an 8-foot dome tent with a bunch of smaller tents growing out of it. I caught it on video without being too impertinent. Two of the young people who live here, both with leased cars and manners like they grew up in the men's bathroom of an I-5 truck stop, were both out there this morning. The girl with the blue car, who I had previously compared to an orc in the Lord of the Rings movies, she actually almost ran over a couple of the cats, and then she flicked me off as she sped away. What did I ever do to her? I'm probably 25 years older than her. Where did she learn this kind of behavior to flick somebody off? Maybe from her mother, who flicked me off 10 minutes later as her son was giving her a ride to wherever she goes at 5 a.m. every morning. I may not have kids, but I can see how malleable they are, both good and bad. Some parents, most parents actually seem to teach their kids bad behavior. And I have firsthand knowledge of this. Maybe their kids just pick up the bad habits by watching them. But because I've not only lived here in this building around these young people for 4.5 years, but I also taught some of them as a high school teacher here. And the conclusion I've come up with is that just about all of them are ill-mannered, so much so that it's going to affect them throughout their lives. If you want respect, you have to be respectful in life, and that's probably what the majority of them lack. Many don't seem to have a concept of boundaries either. None of them have ever had their own room. How would they have a concept of boundaries? They've grown up in a one-bedroom apartment with multiple adults. In their mind, the single white male 2 floors up that would never in a million years initiate conversation with any of them. They act as if I'm open season to ridicule and harassment. When you're in a group setting like that with 5 people in a tiny apartment, you're inevitably going to have disagreements between members of the group, especially when you're all sharing one bathroom. But when the group finds a common enemy, an outsider, i.e., me, it helps if the outsider is different or looks different from the group. Once they have a common enemy, they have something that they can bond over. Their dislike, no matter how trivial or baseless, creates brief unity in the group setting, and it distracts them from the reality that they are living in an unnatural and unusual environment by having so many adults in their apartment. I live in my apartment of the exact same size by myself, and just my existence reminds them of their own absurd behavior of, denial ain't just a river in Egypt. And that's where the absurd behavior of flicking your neighbor off who's just minding his own business, feeding street cats, comes in. Many of the young people who have been here for more than 10 years. The street cats were here when I got here. Maybe the cats were once theirs and they're the ones who abandoned them. Either way, they had seen these cats, their whole lives, and not once did them or their parents think to help the cats. Most parents here, around here at least, are not raising angels. And the world has a rough way of teaching lessons to young people who don't know no better. My name is Gregory Brandt, aka Mr. G. Thank you for listening.